Now the electric two-wheeler space is growing exponentially, and how? We've got the Aethers, the Olas, the TVS, the Bajaj vying for this space and the fruits it has to offer for that matter. Now we've got Diplos Max, the latest electric scooter from Numeros Motors, and I'm going to be telling you what the top speed is, how much range it has, what it has to offer in terms of tech, features and a lot more. Stick to the end of the video to know all about the Diplos Max. Also, follow Overdrive if you have not followed it already. Click the bell icon to stay updated to all the videos that we do, because this is the videos that we do. We have an electric scooter in a setting that is best suited for a BMW GS. Let's get started on this one. Now before I start with the riding dynamics of the Diplos Max, let's get a clear idea of what it has to offer in terms of components and features. So right up front, we have 12-inch wheels which come shod with TVS Euro grip tires. You've got disc brakes up front and at the rear. So this is 22mm disc brake up front, 180 at the rear. And you also have a telescopic conventional unit doing the suspension duties right up front. Up above we have a round LED headlamp. So the entire scooter has LED lighting all over. So the indicators are LED, so they are sleek units, and you have a small DRL right over here. It's actually very sleek. And here we have a two-piece setup. Also, this one has a 13-liter boot space right under it, so you just have to move the keys to the other direction, the negative way, and you have 13 liters of boot space. Now this is ample amount of room for your knickknacks, but apart from that, you get a small lamp as well, just in case if you're trying to find your knickknacks right in the night, at the night time or something. Here you have a pillion seat. Now because of the wheelbase, so the wheelbase again is 1430mm, that's quite long, and you have a grab rail which is sturdy, and the pillion seat also is quite large. Now for the pillion you have foot pegs right over here, and again the dual shock absorbers right over here which is doing duties for the rear suspension. And apart from the footboard for the rider, you have rider foot pegs as well, just in case you feel like you want to put your leg apart from each other. Now, coming back, I have already mentioned it has 180mm disc at the rear, and again 12-inch, but the front wheel is alloy wheels, the rear is steel. Coming up front on the dashboard, you have a small digital unit. It's LCD, it's basic, and it only relays basic information. It's quite small, and it relays the speed that you're going in, and distance to empty, which is basically the charge, and the battery temperature. Coming to the switch gear, we have an engine kill switch right over here. It also has an engine kill feature on the side stand when it's engaged. You have two rocker switches over here, so you have reverse and front, so you have reverse movement as well. Apart from that, there are two riding modes. It's economy and normal. I'll speak about them when I speak about the performance. And you have a normal conventional key fob over here. You also have a 5-watt charging outlet for your phones. It's USB, and this panel right here, it has been kept empty, but this is for fleet. So this one is for passenger vehicles. When you have multiple Diplos at your disposal, you do not need keys. So this has a registered number, and you just have to pick which one, the serial number of this chassis, and you can just get going. Now let's talk about the riding ergonomics of the Diplos Max. Now I'm around 5 feet 9 inches, and this is how I look, because this is just 137 kilos. It's quite easy to handle. Now this is how my feet looks planted on the footboard. Now I have a lot of knee room right here. For 5 feet 9 inches, 10 inches, there is this amount of knee room. Now even if you are 6 feet or something, I don't think there would be a lot of complaints that you would do about the knee room. So this is quite nice. It kind of protrudes out of the apron of the scooter. And one more feature that I would like to highlight here, that if your kill switch is on and the bike has been idle for over 10 minutes, then it kind of turns off everything. So you might think that the system has gone off or something, but it's simple. Just twist the key to the other way, pull out this seat, and there's this button of battery. You turn it off, and then you turn it on again, it will come back to life. So that is how that is a good feature to save battery. But then again, this is also there, and I was kind of thinking that it kind of turned off. Now let's talk about the performance of the Diplos Max. It has a square tube chassis, and inside the chassis it's an IP67 motor as well as battery. The battery is 3.7 kilowatt hour, and the motor makes around 3.7 PS of power and 138 Newton meters of peak torque. Having said that, you have two modes, so there's normal and there's eco. So when you switch to eco, that's the most frugal mode, and the performance is rather underwhelming. So the delayed responses and the overall lack of acceleration, or for that matter in-time acceleration, does get to you. So I would advise that mode only and only when your priority is to get from point A to point B. Now when you switch things up to the normal mode, that is when the things do get a little interesting. But then again, if performance is what you're looking for from the Diplos Max, it will leave you wanting for a lot more. In the normal mode, the acceleration is brisk, but then again, it doesn't get to the top speed. So the top speed is in normal mode around 63 kilometers per hour, and in eco mode, it can go up to 45 kilometers per hour. But then again, these two speeds, it does take its time to get to that place. Now when it comes to suspension, now the ride quality is actually on the stiffer side of things, not too stiff that it becomes bone jarring, but then again you will feel all the potholes and the bumps on the road. Now when it comes to braking, the braking is actually nice. You have disc brakes up front and the rear. Now the management tells me, the product people tell me that it has a CBS, it does not get an ABS, so that is there. But apart from that, the brakes have good progression. The front one has gradual bite, and so does the rear. It's easy to use the brake, it doesn't take much time to get used to the braking. But when it comes to features and what the Diplos has to offer, the digital instrument cluster feels a little bit dated. What about geofencing? What about Bluetooth, phone tethering? What about navigation? These are the things that it misses out on, and that is where the Diplos will have some problem, or for that matter some resistance, in finding its feet among a class where people or manufacturers are offering a lot of these features. Most of the electric scooters that are in the market, which are pointed towards a target which is passenger centric, we have a lot of features. Range, now when it comes to range, the 3.7 kilowatt hour battery claims a range of 140 kilometer IDC. Now again, we are short on time and I'm yet to validate the range, but when it comes to 140 kilometers, I think the real world range would be substantially less. Let's say 100 kilometers, 110 kilometers or something like that. But for that, I would have to get a test unit back at home in Mumbai or in Delhi. But apart from that, when it comes to the pricing of the Diplos Max, now the company says that they will announce pricing close to the Auto Expo, which is 17th of Jan, and that is the only place where the Diplos will kind of have an advantage of what it gives out and the pricing that it will offer. But apart from that, I think it's a very sturdy scooter, and I had the opportunity to ride it in quite the tough terrain as well as in the city. It rides well, it's easy to ride, there's no problem in that. It does a fine job from getting from point A to point B, but there are a few niggles as well, a few pain points that the company needs to address. But that's it from my side on the Diplos Max. I'll see you on the next one. Always ride safe, always drive safe. Follow OVERDRIVE if you haven't followed already. Subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon to stay updated to all the videos that we do. I'll see you on the next one.